Hey, what is up? Otaku Mike here with the Otakuology podcast, and this is Gotta Read 'Em All, a Pokemon podcast. We talk all about the Pokemon Adventures manga, and we are on episode 8, Suddenly Starmie, and I'm
Episode
here
eight.
with my co-host, trainer Jen, and we are here to talk all about our love for the Pokemon Adventures manga.
Definitely. All the love in the world.
And do you want to give a quick synopsis on what happened in our last chapter, Jen?
Sure. So in our last chapter, we actually went to Mount Moon, where we discovered Team Rocket and one of their more ace trainers. And that they were all looking for the Moonstone, which we found out that Red took with him at the end of the chapter. But as well, we also found out that there is a special super secret soldier serum. Try saying that like 20 times fast.
Which we think it might be Pokemon heroin. We don't know.
Probably. But it has the ability to make any Pokemon basically quick evolve. And as far as we know, it's not very, very polite. It makes them go through a mutated change without the glowy evolution that makes it easy for them to come out of their cocoon.
Yeah, it's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Pokemon.
Right. Teenage Mutant Ninja Pokemon.
Oh, it's not Teenage Mutant Ninja Pokemon.
Could you think about it if like Red's current team all were dressed up as ninjas now?
That'd be crazy.
Stay tuned. Maybe there will be art of this. I don't know. I still wait sometime for somebody like an artist or whatever for us to joke and then us to get like some kind of super secret email. It's like, hey, I listened to the show once and I heard y'all joke about this, so I had to do art for it. Here it is. I wanted to send it to you.
Man, if I wish somebody would do that. That'd be awesome. I would share that all around.
Most definitely.
Anybody want to do some fan art? Go ahead. We will definitely give you props for your fan art.
Definitely.
You can email us at otakuologypodcast@gmail.com for all your fan art.
Yeah.
Anyways, so where we left off, like you said, they were on their way to Cerulean City, correct?
Yes.
And they get to Cerulean City, which is the home of Misty, as we find out. And Misty has a big, giant mansion.
Yeah, she does.
I don't remember that from the anime whatsoever.
I thought it was just a Pokemon gym, but
I did too. But apparently she lives in a big mansion with a bunch of maids. And they're like, oh, Misty, you got all dirty. Let's help you and clean you up, And they're like, oh, and this is Red. This is my friend Red, And they all get cleaned up and their Pokemon get all healed up. And
which let me point that out real quick, okay? Because we did see Red go to a Pokemon Center the last chapter and talk to Professor Oak, which gave him the point of, hey, you need to go to Mount Moon.
True.
Right? Why didn't he get his Pokemon healed then? And a second thing, who the hell has enough money to buy your own fucking Pokemon Center and put it in? You know what it reminds me of?
What?
The Richie Rich movie where they walk in and there's a fucking McDonald's in.
Like, you have a McDonald's in your house? And like, doesn't everybody have a McDonald's in their house?
Yeah, like, that's what it makes me think about.
I mean, yeah, I can totally see that, but we don't know what Misty gets paid to be a gym leader.
That's true.
Like, we don't know what her family life is like.
We also don't exactly know at this point if she even is a true gym leader yet. I mean, like she is in the games, but we don't exactly know that per se.
Red doesn't know.
Yeah.
But we know. Because we're not in the manga. So, yeah, there's that,
Please.
But yeah, like, I mean, they did go to that Pokemon Center, and then they went to the cave. But you got to think that they also got hurt in the caves. So, we don't exactly know how they survived the rock slide and stuff. They could have used their Pokemon for that.
That's true. But
But we didn't see it because it was off panel. So I'm guessing that's probably why, because we did see Poliwhirl come out
we did.
towards the
But
end.
we didn't see Bulbasaur.
We did not see Bulbasaur.
So,
Bulbasaur might have been in the back. He's a little short. But we get this scene where like this really nice dinner is spread is just all out, uh and we get and Red is like in amazement that that they get to eat at such nice fancy like shindigs. And I like this part where Misty comes out and she's in like this like almost like a gown of some kind, like a ball gown it looked like.
yeah.
And she has like these sparkly effects around her, and Red's like, "What? I didn't know it was a costume party." And
Right?
she's like, "Shut up and eat your dinner." She's like, just
Right.
shut up, Red.
Which I think that's kind of weird too. That like, why does she dress up like that whenever like what we've seen her wear already?
I don't know. I think they maybe wanted to try to flaunt her wealth a little bit, like this is kind of special.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'd feel like she was always like that though. But
Yeah, I don't know. This is a little off for Misty,
yeah,
but we also got to think about it. Like, we're not dealing with the Misty from the video game. We're not technically dealing with the Misty from the anime. It's like a hybrid almost,
that's true.
and we're kind of getting a whole new Misty
A whole
using
new
elements from both.
Misty.
You know,
Yeah.
so I mean, I don't know. I mean, she did like dressing up, if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
in the in the anime, if I remember
Yeah.
a little bit.
That's where we'll be.
But I like this. You want to take this next scene where they're all eating together? They're eating with the maids,
Yeah.
talking about their exploits with,
Um.
with what happened with Team Rocket and stuff.
Yeah, and it seems like Red's just really throwing Misty under the bus. It
Oh,
says,
he is
and
totally
then
throwing
Misty
Misty under
got
the
knocked
bus.
out. So it was me against all of Team Rocket. Of course, it
Yeah,
only took me a few minutes to mop them up. And then Misty, there's something I gotta talk to you about.
yeah.
Back to Red. What is it, Misty? Can't stand listening to how I saved the day while
But you were
you were
sneezing.
sneezing. Yeah,
Yeah. No, totally. Like he is totally being Mr. Macho cocky guy right at the moment.
right.
You know,
Which
he is so
I think this part goes over his head though, because right underneath that she says, "Shut up, listen. Our Pokemon will be fully healed soon," and it kind of
yeah.
sounds like a threat. Really thinking about it,
Yeah. Cuz I mean like Misty's thinking of the bigger picture. Red's thinking of possibly hitting on these cute girls and stuffing his fucking face
that's
with
true.
what may or may not be Pokemon.
Oh, it's Pokemon. You know it.
But I mean, we haven't figured that out yet if it's Pokemon meat or not.
Oh, it is.
But yeah, she's definitely like she needs to be the strongest, and you can definitely see she does not want this to happen again. When it's like she's all business at this point when it comes to the Pokemon and protecting the Pokemon and fighting Team Rocket, because eventually they're going to come back.
That's true. Which is good that
Yeah,
she is kind of thinking ahead of time of like preparing herself.
that is true. And we get this scene where Red's still blowing her off, and Misty gets mad and upset and calls him an idiot, and she storms off. And he's like, "You don't have to take it so personally, Misty. Like, come on."
Right.
Like, and I mean, it's a Misty thing. But in this moment, Misty is technically right.
This is true.
She is right in this aspect, and Red's like, well, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
But what did you think of this next scene that's happening where Red's sitting in bed talking to his Pokemon in the Pokeballs?
That man really loves his Pokemon. Okay,
He loves his Pokemon a lot.
but I mean, I'm glad that they put that aspect into it. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like if they just put it in a way where he didn't do that, that it wouldn't be as good.
Yeah, because they're all sitting on a pillow, and he's like looking at him, talking to him, being like, "Yeah, guys,
And being
who's got time for training?"
being somebody that has tried to write like a Pokemon fan fiction esque thing, it is one of the toughest mediums that I have ever worked with trying to
Yeah,
get across, because then you realize like when you want somebody to say something to somebody else, like none of the fucking Pokemon talk, okay? So
true.
all you can do is say something like, "Oh, Bulbasaur said Bulba" in a like stern, grungy type voice. Like
Yeah, but we're also dealing with a different medium
that's true,
because we're also dealing with pictures, so you're telling it on both fronts,
right?
text and pictures. So,
Right.
but
So,
I like this scene where he's talking to him, and like we're gonna hit on some cute some not nurses, cute maids. That's what it was. He doesn't have time to train, and the lights cut out, and a whirlwind happens in his bedroom.
right?
He's like, "What the hell? What's up with this wind?" He's like, "Somebody help me!"
Yeah.
And Bulbasaur helps him.
Which
Bulbasaur happens to come out.
Bulbasaur was the only one that got out, right?
Yeah, he was the only one that got out, I believe. Yeah,
Pulls him in.
yeah, with his vine whip,
Yeah.
which I thought that scene was really cool. But I was like, man, how did they like how did they get once we find out what Pokemon it was? How did they get the Pokemon in the room, or was the Pokemon in the room?
I don't think so.
Maybe because the window's open and like everything's in disarray and damaged, and Red's like, "What the hell's going on here?" And he
Which
sees
which
a scale,
the move that this is has to be Twister.
right?
I know it seems like it's kind of on the nose, but that's like the only attack that I can even think that this one could be.
Yeah, or like a wind gust type of attack.
Well, just thinking of all the attacks that a Gyarados can even learn, like
Yeah,
you know,
we find out. Yes, it is a Gyarados. A scale is the Gyarados scale. He finds a Gyarados scale.
yeah, goes
Yeah, you want
down
to take
and
this?
he goes down the next morning. Red does to eat breakfast.
Yeah,
And
he's eating his
is
weenies.
somebody after me? And then you have the girls, Mr. Red, please excuse us, but
Yeah, do you think he thinks that somebody's trying to put a hit out on him?
probably so, because I mean, and the other thing is nobody really has brought up or said anything to him that we know
No,
of.
nobody's brought it up.
So, but I do like, and I wonder, I really have to wonder what's going through both of these maids like heads right here on this last panel though,
Yeah,
because Red goes uh, Cerulean City must have a gym leader, right? Just
he's
for
really strong.
just for you, I'm going to challenge him and kick his butt. And they have to be sitting there and being
Like,
like,
okay,
"What the hell?"
okay,
Which is really funny because on the next panel they know something, but we don't. Is
yeah,
that they're laughing about it? So
yeah,
you know it's funny, but it's not because like if we were in the same position as Red and not knowing who
yeah.
that person was, then we would be like, "Why are they laughing?" But since we do, I feel like it does make it a lot more funnier
I
because
mean,
now we know.
Red comes off as really like gullible and kind of stupid in this part.
That is true. I feel like he gets better over time.
Because he automatically thinks it's a guy or a boy, a male,
Right.
and they're like, oh, and they're like, oh, why are you laughing? And Misty's like, oh, so you want to challenge the gym leader to a fight, huh? She's like, come with me. I'll take you to the gym leader.
Yeah.
And we see them go to the gym leader, to the gym, and she's like, "Come on, it's this way." And they're they're looking through the rooms, and I'm surprised he didn't put two and two together. This is where I call he really pulls like an Ash moment at this point, where he's like kind of stupid. Because Ash is stupid sometimes, but Red can't find the gym leader. The gym leader is nowhere to be found. And who's the gym leader, Jen?
Misty.
It's Misty.
Yeah. So she walked around with him this whole time.
Yes, yeah.
And he's talking about bad about him and everything, and then Misty points to herself and goes, "It's me. I'm the more."
I'm the gym leader, bitch.
So
Uh, yeah.
that's just kind of weird, but
It's really funny because uh he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's funny, Misty. Okay, yeah. Where's the gym leader? Where is he? Where is he?"
right,
You know, it's like he almost thinks Red almost thinks that Misty is kind of playing a trick on him.
right, yeah. You're not the real McCoy.
But she takes out Starmie, right? Starmie's the purple one, right?
Yeah, Starmie's the purple one that looks like two
Okay.
ninja stars.
Yeah. And she takes out Starmie and does like a water gun or water blast at Red. And
I,
he's like,
oh
what?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's like, what are you trying to do? And
Because
Misty's like,
I think in the next part she's using like surf.
is she? Okay.
I think so. That's because the wave looks
It,
super huge.
I mean, yeah, it possibly is surf. Sometimes it's hard to depict on what these are actually.
That's true.
Uh, but she's like, "Oh, what? You a coward now? You don't want to fight me because I'm a girl? Like since you know me, are you like being a fucking chicken?
Yeah,
And she's like, "Bulbasaur, come out, Bulbasaur." We all know Bulbasaur is good against water type Pokemon, because he's a plant.
that's true. That is true.
And we get this cool fight with Bulbasaur and Starmie, and which I really like. I like this fight. It's really cool. It's really short though.
Which,
It's not.
which that's the thing that trips me up in this fight, though, is because he does use Vine Whip, and Starmie just does kind of knock it away. But then Stormy also uses Bubble Beam, which
Yeah.
then we see Bulbasaur knocked out behind Red.
Well, if you look, is that okay? That is Bulbasaur. Yeah, Bulbasaur. Yeah, because they're kind of looks like they're like kind of swept up in it
Yeah,
almost.
but the weird thing is why would Bubbles work compared to like the Hydro Pump that Gyarados hit him with like three
Well,
chapters back?
what if she like combined like the surf and the bubble beam?
But still, it doesn't make sense because we were told that water doesn't work on him.
Yeah, but I mean, he could have got knocked out by guy like hit against a wall or something,
That's true too.
because there was a lot of water in the room. He could have
Questions
got
for
thrown around.
questions. Yeah.
But yeah, they are knocked out, and Misty gets all serious, and she's like,
Do they
"I
do they
thought
get
you
do they get knocked down to get up again?
no." Red's kind of knocked out, almost a little bit, but she's like, "I thought you knew how I felt, Red. I thought you knew how I felt about the situation at hand." This is where Misty gets serious, and she's
Sirius
like,
Black.
she's like, "I thought we were a team, I got knocked out, and Starmie was really no use at all at that moment, And Red just doesn't get it. He doesn't grasp the situation at hand and how serious it actually is. They could have died.
Right.
You know,
Right. Which I do
but
like her bringing that up. Like
yeah,
Starmie was useless at Mount Moon, but Starmie was the person that just knocked out your Bulbasaur. So it's
true.
if shoes were on different feet, there was a percent chance that they wouldn't have made it out of Mount Moon.
Yeah, no, most definitely.
So yeah,
Yeah, like it's interesting to think about like their different thought process when it comes to Pokemon. And if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Surviving and battling, you know, Red's definitely the novice.
Which
at this.
I do like the part that he says right after that. And it's like what we haven't been led to believe since the beginning of this chapter, where he says, I don't have time to impress girls, and you don't have time for tears.
Yeah, because he did say that he wanted to impress some girls at the beginning, you know. And you can see him reach out and help her, because she is very obviously distraught over the fact of the events that they have gone through together. You know, and they a few days later, you know, Red. I almost said Ash. Red and Misty depart from each other. We see what looks like Bulbasaur, Pikachu, and Poliwhirl walking hand in hand together with Red, and Red's got himself a little hobo knapsack going on, which I think is fucking cute. I like this little panel. It's cute. I like it. And we see the maids and Misty, and you know, Misty's talking about how they've each learned from each other about other skills and attacks, and one day they will meet again.
Right.
They will meet.
Which it was kind of weird in this one that since we've met Misty, but he didn't actually fight her for a gym badge.
That's weird, you know?
Yeah, even though they train
together,
you know.
But yeah, like, are we gonna get that later on? I wonder if, like, is Misty gonna come back?
We're gonna have to.
Like, I know Misty does come back,
right?
But I don't know in what capacity she comes back in.
Yeah,
you know, because they don't really talk about whether or not if they did battle for the badge, or if Misty just gave Red the badge.
Right.
It's very, very much left open-ended.
Which I think that this next little part that we jump over to a different character, which is Paul.
It's leading into the next chapter.
Yeah, and Paul talks like a country bumpkin, so that's the funniest thing about him.
Yeah.
He's working on the transporter system to, like, if you send your Pokemon or whatever to Professor Oak, and he can send them back through you to you from the computer or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's what he's working on, that one, and
we'll save what happens to Paul for the next podcast.
Yeah. But he tries to do that, or like the system that lets you, like, just the trading system, honestly. That's
I don't know if they perfected that yet.
I don't know.
The transferring of Pokemon yet.
But I do like this one part here that he says, where he's talking about the Pokemon transporter being done. And then he says, it's no better than a Metapod and molasses.
That's funny.
And then he ends up getting stuck in the teleporter. An auto timer was already set for something that we don't know. And the last panel, we see him sitting into it. And in the other one, there is a Rattata.
Yeah.
Or a Rattata.
Mm-hmm.
So
as a whole, what did you think of this chapter?
This one I felt was a little more like watered down, than our other ones, just because there wasn't really a lot of action besides this little stunt that Misty pulled with.
Yeah.
But in perfect Pokemon fashion, like, I don't think it was really all that bad. It was just
Yeah.
one of those moving chapters to get us from point A
Hmm.
to point B.
Yeah. I didn't think it was bad, like you said. Like I was entertained with this chapter.
Yeah,
I didn't feel like it moved the bigger story along, but we did get a little more personal story
that's true.
with this chapter. We did get to learn more about Misty and her new motivations with Team Rocket and trying to take them down and fight them and be prepared, and how Red actually acted towards that. And we actually got to see some good character development between the both of them, and to be more proactive and prepared, and uh, it's something that Red's not really done. He's kind of been on the seat of his pants for most of this run so far.
That's true.
He's not. He's kind of thinks he's invincible at points, and in reality, he's like the low man on the totem pole.
That's true. And he's just for right now, I honestly feel like it's like whenever you started playing the Pokemon games or whatever,
Yeah,
and you either picked like a Charmander or you picked Charmander or whatever, and you first got to Brock and Misty, and you're like, oh shit, I made the wrong choice,
yeah,
because both of them, how they're set up, not necessarily is good for Charmander to fight.
yeah.
Squirtle and Bulbasaur are your two ones that are
Which
better than that.
which makes me wonder. So did Blue just bypass Misty then?
I don't know. I mean, that's the other thing we don't know is has he even seen her
Yeah,
or has he even met her or anything else? So,
because Blue's supposed to be ahead of Red by like a little bit.
right. And we don't even know that. So,
Yeah, like did Blue run into Team Rocket at any point?
that's
I
true.
would like to know. We're not going to see Blue for like a couple more chapters.
She
You know,
sees through.
so yeah, yeah. I enjoyed this one. It wasn't. I mean, it was still a continuation of the last chapter. So they did link together and for an overarching story, I guess you could say. It was fine. It was a fine chapter. You
It
know,
was a fun kettle of fish.
it was nothing to write home about, but I still enjoyed it.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it too. As you said, I do like the things that were pointed out better because
Hmm.
up until this point we do get this kind of stuff off of Red, basically
Yeah.
seeing like Red hasn't really been beaten at all. I mean, his
Yeah.
guys
Not
his guys have
really.
been worn down, but that was kind of the other thing that we saw in this. That was, I think, a key point that we saw in it is all of the Pokemon were at max health. So we do know that
Yeah.
Bulbasaur was fully healed. We know that there
Yeah.
wasn't any outside things that were messing with him. We know that he just wasn't tired from all the different fighting he's already done.
Yeah.
And a full health Starmie and a full health Bulbasaur went at it, and Bulbasaur still lost.
Yeah.
So it did show more, I think, to us as an audience that you can kind of be cocky about a victory. You can't
Hmm.
be entirely cocky about stuff
Yeah.
because when it comes down to it like that, you never know because somebody might be able to beat you in it.
Yeah. It's very much like a crapshoot kind of,
Right. And I
situation.
mean, we are reading it this way. And I remember, like, when I was younger, playing Pokemon at
Yeah.
daycare or whatever with people, and everybody like bitching and arguing about stuff with each other. And oh, well, I beat such and such with this guy, and da 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 da, and trying to make them sound that when you realize that that's not another person playing against you, that's a computer that has a
Yeah.
set rule of commands.
Yeah, and like if you're not leveled up higher, it can be a challenge for you,
Right, right.
So
And that's kind of, I feel like, another thing, which this is going into the game a little more.
Yeah.
of one of the types of games that people play, which is the Nuzlocke challenge.
What's that?
You know where? So it's basically where you run through and play Pokemon, but when
Uh huh.
your if your Pokemon hits zero, they're dead.
Okay.
Like that's it. And then
You can't heal them.
you can't heal them. Like you can heal them if they didn't hit zero. If
Okay.
they get knocked out, they're gone.
Okay.
Um, so you have that, and then you also have like if you catch one in a certain area, you can't catch another guy in that area.
Okay.
So and I feel like that's kind of one of the challenges that came out of things like this. For people as well that
Well,
do get too big for their britches and think, okay, well, because it makes you more
I mean,
cautious.
some people do feel like that the games are a little too easy.
That's true.
So there is that whole debate. I haven't played a Pokemon game since like I think it was that one on GameCube,
My
the
my
DX Gale of
my
Darkness.
last one was probably a few months ago, and it was
You're playing Pokemon Sword or Shield.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So like I haven't been around the Pokemon games in quite some time, so
right,
I don't know how much they've changed at all.
right. Well, I mean, and
Or
then
if
some
they
of the other games that they've added, like Pokemon
Yeah.
Arceus. I don't know how that one is, but supposedly you run around and it works kind of like how
Yeah.
this last one does.
And they're coming out with that new Diamond and Pearl remake
Yep.
really
So
soon actually.
so we do have like a lot of different stuff. I mean, the way Pokemon has advanced is very insane.
Yeah.
So, with the leniencies that we have with this manga right now, we will see as we go farther into the series that we don't have those.
Yeah, it kind of plays by its own rules a little bit,
That's true.
So that's one thing I do like. 'Cause we're kind of hindered by like the game's story in some aspects,
Right.
but that's about it.
That's true.
You know,
That's true.
it's definitely its own story, and that's one thing that I actually really like about it.
Right. And I like with this one as much leniencies as we have with this one. We do get a little stricter as we go on.
Yeah,
As new things get introduced, the different kinds of Pokeballs, we get
yeah,
them being introduced, people having those using different ones for different reasons.
yeah.
For a while, the only thing that I hate is where when we get farther into the split off series, where they get a little weird because then they stick too much to the story.
Which ones?
Uh,
Like
like
after Emerald or
like black and white and X and Y.
oh, well, we have quite a ways till if we cover those,
So
you
yeah,
know. But I'm interested to see like later down the line when I can't remember when it is, but when they get into the contests,
yeah,
like the talent contest or whatever they do,
yeah. With red and or ruby and sapphire.
I'm kind of interested to see how they portray that in the manga
Oh yeah,
because I know how they portray it in the anime, and when they did it in the anime, I just stopped watching. I
I
was like,
think they
I
kind
don't
of
want to watch
portray
this
it.
anymore.
I think they kind of portray it the same way as the anime.
Okay.
Which I mean, sometimes I like. I like where you use two different moves and it combines into another like a special move or whatever.
Yeah.
I like how they do that aspect of it.
Okay.
I hate in the actual games where when we do the contest stuff later on, there's not really
Is
anything to it.
is that when they introduce like double battle, like double team battles, like two Pokemon at once?
Yeah, for season three
Okay.
or
Okay, because
level three.
I stopped watching it when that like when the contest came around.
Okay.
I was I'm done with Pokemon. I think I've had my fill.
Well, I really like in the aspect right now that we have that. I think at one point when we get farther in the series, somebody's like, they throw all 6 of their Pokemon out and they're like, go, and they're beating up on one Pokemon. So, there's not really rule restrictions at the current moment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We're almost done with volume 1.
this is
So
true.
eventually we'll get to volume 2.
I think we have 3 more weeks, right? I
I
think that's
think so,
what we
something like
calculated earlier.
if we do 2 a week, we will be done with volume up with the volumes
Right. So
for red, blue, and green.
so everyone out there, our listeners and everybody else involved that could hear the second hand, I guess. That just means if you're at work, turn your damn radio down, okay? Uh, no, turn
If
it
you're
up. Turn it up,
if you're listening on our YouTube channel, gotta read them all. Comment, give us your theories and what you want to know. You know,
Most
so we,
definitely, because
you know,
we can learn those answers together.
yeah. If you have a question, drop it in the YouTube channel. We'll respond and talk about it in the podcast.
Right? It might even have its own special episode, okay?
Ooh, yeah. It
Special.
depends.
Yeah,
It depends.
it just depends.
But yeah,
But for everybody out there, thanks for listening. We're the Otakuology Podcast, and
yeah.
just keep listening. As always,
Thanks for yeah.
see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.